Hey guys, today I want to do a comparison between two similar yet different UMPC netbooks that I own. On the left side I have the OneNetbook A1, which I got fairly recently, and on the right side I have the OneMix Yoga 3, which I got back in 2019. And both of these devices are made by the same company. It's a Chinese company called OneNetbook, which has been making these UMPC netbook type devices around the same time that GPD started making theirs. Another Chinese company that basically these Chinese companies kind of revitalized the UMPC netbook space since like 2010 when they basically stopped being produced. They kind of revitalized it back in 2016. But yeah, I wanted to compare these two because they're both similar and they're both different at the same time. So I want to show you guys the similarities and differences. Also, for me as well. I kind of just want to choose one of these and see which one fits my purposes better. So let's start off with the similarities, okay? So the similarities are that these are both convertible devices. They can both turn into a tablet form factor, and they both offer pen support, so you can actually use this for drawing or whatever illustration, whatever artistic stuff you want to do. But they convert in different ways. The A1 uses a traditional, old school, I would say, twist style hinge mechanism where it swivels and then it folds back into a tablet, and the OneMix Yoga uses the more newer style 360-degree hinge, which was popularized by the Lenovo Yoga, right? The ThinkPad Yogas and the Lenovo Yogas. So they're both convertible and they're both touchscreens. Both have pen support, but they do it a little bit differently. And of course, both of these are really small, really portable devices as well, right? So both of these are not going to fit in your suit, pocket, or jacket, but it's definitely going to fit inside like a purse or something like that, because they're both very, very tiny compared to like a traditional laptop, right? So netbooks, I would consider these to be really netbooks. I don't know really what's the differentiator between a UMPC and a netbook. I think a netbook is a UMPC. So UMPCs mean ultra mobile PCs, right? That's the category that Microsoft defined back in the mid-2000s. At least to me, I think when I think of UMPC, I think of kind of crazy different form factors, right? Like back in the mid-2000s, you got the Okio Model 2, the Sony Vaio UX, and now the GPD Win 3, the Samsung Q1. Those types of form factors you don't really see in any other device or computer. I consider those to be UMPCs, at least for me, right? I consider those to be a little bit out there, right? Vulkan Flipstart, those are kind of crazy unique form factors. Netbooks, on the other hand, are more traditional form factors. They keep the traditional clamshell design, it's just that they're miniaturized, right? So I would consider both of these devices to be netbooks. So the OneMix Yoga is 8.4-inch netbook, weighs about 1.4 pounds, and the A1 is a 7-inch netbook, weighs about 1.2 pounds. So you can see that size difference wise, the OneMix Yoga is wider than the A1 by just a little bit, but it's definitely wider. And then lengthwise, the A1 is just a smidge more longer than the OneMix Yoga, and that's only because the A1 has more ports, and that's one of the differentiators as well. So yeah, similarities they're both convertibles, they're both ultra portable netbook style computers, right? Both have pen support, both from the same company. They actually both run the same processor as well, Core M3 8100Y, pretty much the same specs for the RAM and storage space as well. So all that is pretty similar. The differences are A1 is slightly smaller, as you can see, and slightly lighter as well by 0.2 pounds. And the ports are different. So the OneMix Yoga has micro SD, USB-C for charging, one USB-A, and micro HDMI headphone jack, and that's really all it has. The A1 has all that and more, despite being in a smaller form factor. So it has headphone jack, it has a USB-A, it has the micro HDMI, and it has USB-C for charging and micro SD, just like the OneMix Yoga. However, in addition to that, it offers a full-size COM serial port right here for people who are using legacy equipment. Has another USB-A port. It has a full-size RJ45 Ethernet port. So it has all the ports that the OneMix Yoga has, but a few more in addition. So I would consider, for ports wise, the A1 wins in that category. For portability wise, the A1 is, you know, like I said, slightly more portable, right? Slightly lighter, slightly smaller. It's more portable. So that's the differences between those two. Otherwise, spec-wise, they're pretty much the same. And like I said, the convertible form factor is also a little bit different. So these are both convertibles, but they do it in different ways. So the A1 uses a more traditional mechanism where it twists like this, swivels over, and then the OneMix Yoga, if I want to put it into the same kind of stand mode, right, you just flip it over like that, right? And if you want to go full tablet style, you just push this one down, and now it's a tablet. So you can do some drawing, read some ebooks. The A1, you push it down, and then you can do the same thing, right? Read some ebooks, do some drawings. I would say that the fact that the A1 has like a bit of a grip here where you can actually hold it like this, like a book almost. I think this is actually pretty comfortable, right? Whereas the OneMix Yoga, I mean, you definitely can't hold it like this, but I would say that the size difference between the A1, I feel a little bit more comfortable holding the A1, right? The OneMix Yoga seems like it's definitely meant for more media consumption. Like if I was watching a movie, I put it like this, and that looks fine, right? If I was reading an ebook, I think maybe the A1 is a little bit more comfortable, right? It's a little bit lighter, a little bit smaller, and I have this grip here where I can just hold it like this, right? For media consumption, I think the OneMix Yoga may be better though because of the bigger display, right? So the other difference is the OneMix Yoga, 8.4-inch display, and the A1 has a 7-inch display. So obviously OneMix Yoga has a bigger display, probably better for media consumption, right? Now the other difference that's pretty noticeable is the keyboard difference. So the A1 has a cramped keyboard due to its size, and the OneMix Yoga 3 has a much more manageable keyboard. In my opinion, the OneMix Yoga 3 right now has on the market one of the best keyboards that you can get on a UMPC/netbook type device, right? The GPD P2 Max is probably the only one that I've used that has a better keyboard. So if you just want to do a lot of typing, you know, writing up documents and stuff like that, if you're going to be doing a lot of typing, the OneMix Yoga 3 is definitely better. Whereas the A1, I mean, you can definitely type like this. It's just not going to be as comfortable because it's smaller, right? They have to cramp the keys into a much more confined space compared to the Yoga 3. They both use the same inputs for their mouse cursor, right? So they both use the optical track point. OneNetbook actually uses this for all their computers, including the gaming ones, like the One GX1. They both have a fingerprint sensor. The A1's is up there, and the OneMix Yoga's is up here. But yeah, in terms of typing and display, the OneMix Yoga definitely wins. Has a much more roomier keyboard. Display is bigger. But of course, the price you're paying for that is that the OneMix Yoga is bigger and a little bit heavier, right? And then the A1, you can also thumb type on this one as well. Whereas with the OneMix Yoga, probably you can, it's just not going to be as, yeah, it's not going to be as comfortable as just putting it down on a table or a flat surface and typing on it. So I would say the A1 is probably more suited for typing on your thumbs, very similar to the GPD Micro PC, but the OneMix Yoga, yeah, it's definitely meant for flat surface typing. So yeah, that's pretty much the differences between the two. They're around the same price as well. The A1 just came out more recently, but the OneMix Yoga, yeah, it's roughly around the same price. You can get it for around $700 US. And again, same specs, right? You both have a Core M3 8100Y. You can get it with 8 gigs, 16 gigs of RAM. You can get it with 256 gig or 512 SSD. And you both have pen support on both of these, but you have to pay extra for the pen. So yeah, and they're both convertible. So the main differences is that the A1 is slightly smaller, slightly more lighter, so it's slightly more portable, and it has more ports. So if you care about connectivity, then the A1 is probably going to be the one you want to go for. Also, if you're doing like ebook reading and stuff like that, if you're holding it for long periods of time, I definitely think that the A1's kind of reduced size helps with that. Whereas the OneMix Yoga, you'd want to use this one if you do a lot of typing. It's definitely more comfortable for that, and the screen is bigger, definitely better for media consumption. So if you care about those things more, then I think the OneMix Yoga is the way to go. But actually what I use it for is a little bit different than what most people would use it for. For me, I actually play a lot of visual novel games, which I have a substantial amount on Steam, actually. And for me, playing visual novels just using a keyboard and mouse is not actually the preferable way to do it. I prefer to use a portable device to do it, right? So I have the Nintendo Switch, which is actually what I mostly use for playing visual novels, but I was thinking about looking for a computer that I can play my visual novels on the go as well. So that's what I looked into these two convertible UMPC/netbook devices for, is to see how well they can play my visual novels. I know that's not a use case for most people, but for me, that's my use case. So I'm going to compare these two and how well do they do in that aspect. So let's turn them both on. Right. They both have power indicator lights, status indicator lights, which are both backlit as well. Right. But yeah, status indicator lights is actually not on every laptop, so that's why I pointed it out. And they're both backlit. They're both touchscreens. Right. All right. And let's use fingerprint sensor. Oops. Of course, I registered the same finger for both. There. All right. So I installed some visual novels on both of these, and you can see, yeah, the A1's display just tilts up like at this angle, and that's the maximum it can go for. Like the OneNetbook Shogun can definitely go further back because of the 360-degree hinge, whereas the A1, this is the maximum it can go back. So keep that in mind. I installed pretty much the same visual novels on both of these. Well, let's check a few of them out. Okay, so I have Steins Gate Elite on this. Let's try this one. You can already see the immediately differences is the display of the OneNetbook Shogun is, you know, definitely bigger. So that being one of the main advantages of it. Let's see, do I have Steins Gate Elite in this one? Well, if not, I can also try. I can also try Root Letter Last Answer. Let's try that one. Okay. I mean, they're both visual novels, so we'll see how well they do. Oh, you know what? It doesn't let me log into the same Steam account. Okay, so I have to play this one first on this computer, and then I can play that one. Okay, so let's do Steins Gate Elite on the A1 first, and then we can compare it. We can't use Steam as the same user at the same time, right? Or we both can't be playing games on the same account at the same time. Alright, I also want to compare the speakers as well, right? I want to see which one is better for audio. So I'm going to max out the audio on both. I think interesting, this is a red-black backlit keyboard. Okay. Okay, so this is max volume. Oops. Max volume. So I want to just use the touchscreen. So ideally I don't want to use the keyboard when I'm playing visual novels. I just want to see if it works with the touchscreen only, because that's how I like to play, like when I do portably. So let's see. Oh, I did not save anything. Okay. So there's one problem. Sometimes I do have to use the keyboard because like in instances like this, there's no way to go back. There's no button to go back, so let's see. Yeah, backspace. I have to press backspace. Alright, let's just do new game here. So that's a little bit of a bummer. I have to use the keyboard sometimes for this. It depends on the visual novel, right? Some visual novels you can play the entire game without having to use the keyboard, but other visual novels I guess you can't. So, okay, so this one, I don't think it's going to do portrait mode. Let's just play landscape mode like this. Right. Oh, maybe it does do portrait mode, but it's awful. Don't use portrait mode to play visual novels, guys. That's a bad idea. Okay, landscape mode only. One thing I want to say is that the A1 definitely very comfortable to hold when I'm playing this. I know the screen is definitely smaller compared to the OneNetbook Shogun, but it's fairly comfortable to hold. My hands are not going to get fatigued holding this when playing visual novels, and you know, most of the time when you play visual novels it's going to be for a long period of time. It's not like a short game. You're basically just doing reading. I mean, it is called visual novel, so it is like reading a book. So you're probably going to be holding this for like a few hours actually, so you got to keep that in mind. Even though there's only 0.2 pounds difference between the two, there's a sizable difference in the width. And 0.2 pounds actually does matter if you're going to hold it for a very long time, right? So I actually do appreciate the smaller size and form factor of the A1. Okay, so it looks like I can get through most of the game just like this. And that's exactly what I want to do with one of these things, is I want to have just a portable visual novels playing system. Kind of like my Nintendo Switch, except, you know, these games are ones I don't have on my Switch. I have it for Steam. And not all of them are available for the Switch. Actually, let's just play one that's not available for the Switch. Steins Gate Elite, I think, might be. But I think another ones would be like Muv-Luv. I don't think Muv-Luv's available for the Switch, so we can play that one. Yeah, let's do Muv-Luv Photon Memories. That's definitely one that's not available on the Switch. Let's see how well it works for touchscreen only. Try not to use the keyboard. Okay. Okay, let's do that one. Okay, Muv-Luv, image language, English, Japanese. Is this subtitles? I think that the voice acting is always going to be Japanese, which is exactly fine. That's what I want. Okay. Okay, never mind. There's no voice acting at all. Okay, well, this game definitely seems playable with just using my hands. Don't have to use the keyboard. Yeah, this game seems totally playable using just my hand, which is fine. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I mean, most facial novels should be like that, which is why I was looking for, you know, a touchscreen, small, convertible netbook type device. Because I just expected most facial novels you can just play using your hands only. But I'm also wondering how well it works with point-and-click adventure titles as well, right? So for example, here's Riven. So Riven is a game that was released a long time ago. It's not obviously not meant for a device like this, but it's a point-and-click adventure. So I figured, you know, that kind of game might work well with a computer like this. So let's try that one out too. It's not a visual novel, but point-and-click adventure in theory should work pretty well. Hopefully you don't have to use the keyboard for anything. I can just use my hands to control the interface. So this is Riven. Yeah, Riven came out in the 90s, I think, after Myst came out. So we'll see how well it does. Okay, maybe I can't skip these scenes. Can I skip you?
Thank God you've returned. I need your help.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I do have to use the keyboard to skip that. Okay, let's see. Now it's just the point-and-click adventure, right? So it looks like it works fine. Just using this. No keyboard. Right. Can I go back? Yep. Okay, cool. That all works. Go here. Turn around. Go forward. This was considered state-of-the-art back then, okay? Back in the 90s. It's a real adventure. Because back then, it's like you didn't have these kind of photorealistic graphics, but... Oops. You can open the door? I can. Oh, fancy. Animations. What sorcery is this? Can I open this door? Oh, there we can. So yeah, it looks like point-and-click adventure games like Riven and Myst can work pretty well with this. Yeah, definitely don't seem like I have to use the keyboard at all. Because, you know, who wants to play point-and-click adventure with, like, a small keyboard and mouse, right? Come on. It's way better to play this using a touchscreen. Yeah. And I was also looking at maybe some card games. Maybe some card games could work as well in this kind of interface. But yeah, it seems like, yeah, but to get out of the game, I have to use the keyboard. It seems like the gameplay, at least, I can use the touchscreen only, but obviously I need the keyboard just to get out and enter the menu and do things like that. Alright, so yeah, the OneNetbook's definitely very comfortable to hold in my hand when I'm playing those kind of games. Alright, now let's check out the OneMix Yoga. Alright, so for the OneMix Yoga, let's try a few different games to switch it up. Let's try Root Letter Last Answer. Again, I'm gonna try my best not to use the keyboard and just to use the touchscreen. Oh, you won't go full screen, okay. There we go. Okay, so now let's start. Actually, can I continue? Yes, I actually have it saved. Let's load this one. Alright, so an investigative game like this actually could be pretty useful if I just use my fingers to touch. Okay, guidebook. I think. Okay. Smartphone. I think I'm stuck here. Let's load this one. Right, so an investigative game like this could actually work pretty well with a touchscreen interface, because you have like the little magnifying glass and stuff. You can check and investigate different areas, which I think works okay. Actually, one thing that you don't get is you don't get the hover, right? So usually if you hover over your surroundings using a mouse, then it'll actually show like which areas are suspicious, but I don't think you would get that in a touch interface. So that's the one thing, I guess. Check. Yeah, here we go. So here I don't have any hover kind of thing, so I just have to kind of guess. There we go. Ask. Inventory. You show me the picture. What? Postcard, yeah, that's right. Show other people the pictures. Move. Oops. Looks like I'm not supposed to move yet. Well, actually, I think I'm supposed to go back to the guidebook. Oh, shoot. Okay. I think this is the one area I think I do need to have the... Looks like I do need to pull out the keyboard after all. If I want to get back to the menu, then to pull out the keyboard. So that's a little bit annoying. That's only if you make a mistake though. So guidebook, there you go. Now we can move. Okay, so I can't play this whole game using just the touchscreen, but I think that's the only time you would need to use the keyboard for these visual novels, is just to pull out the menu. That's really it.
Hey, hey.
Okay, ask. Nope. Check. There we go. Oh, this thing, okay. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. Can you show the picture? Nope. Oh, okay. You ask more? High school girl there. Whoops. Alright, and now I would move to the library, I think. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, this game is fairly playable. It's just the only time you would need to pull out the keyboard is if you need to access the menu, which is, you know, how it just is for a lot of these things. Okay. Oops. Main menu. Actually, I might not even need to pull out this one out. Might not even need to pull out the menu if I can just exit from here.
Option.
Oh, never mind. Well, at least this one you can go back using your fingers. So actually, this game's actually fairly playable using just the touchscreen. Steins Gate, you actually had to press the keyboard to go back. This one, if I go options, I can just go back by pressing that, right? So, not bad. Okay, but I do need to. I need to press escape to actually exit the game. All right, now let's try. Right, just like with on the A1, I want to try a point-and-click adventure. This time I'm gonna do Full Throttle. So Full Throttle is a point-and-click adventure game. See if it works as well as Riven did. Hopefully, don't have to use my keyboard. Okay, new game. So definitely, this feels a little bit more cumbersome holding it, just because it's a bigger device, a little bit heavier. But I do get the benefit of having the bigger screen. So if you want to be a little bit more immersed, then yeah, the bigger screen definitely helps. Of the One Mix Yoga compared to the A1. Is there any way to skip this? Skipping these things might require the keyboard. Oh,
Fix my bike. Free.
Nope.
No strings attached.
Okay, never mind. I can't skip this.
No, man, that things are never that simple.
Yeah, Full Throttle. I've not done a review of this game yet. Oh. Mark Hamill's in this game. Wow, I did not know that. Great voice actor. Oh, I can hold it? Freak, now it tells me. Okay, I think I'll hold to skip it. Good. So you can skip it. Let's see.
Hey, man.
Okay, cool. Alright, so yeah, this is a Full Throttle point-and-click adventure, which I think it can work pretty well with a touchscreen device like this. Let's see, boxes. And again, it's kind of like root letter. I'm kind of like looking around. I can actually hover like this, right? I can hover like this to see what's interesting or not, or suspicious. Okay. Oh, there he is. Yep, I can direct him where to move. Oh, okay. So yeah, that works. It's, okay. Oh. Let's get on my bike. Ride it. Ride it. Can he ride it? I don't know how to make him ride it. Come on, ride it. Oh, here, what's this one?
I'm not putting my lips on that.
Oh, okay, I see how it goes. Okay, so I can hover over it, and then there's different selections, and I can select what to do, okay. See, I've never actually played this game yet. This is like my first time playing this game, so...
Some joker took my keys. I don't like that.
Not my keys. Okay, let's go inside there. So I can hover over it, and then I can decide what to do. Oh, okay, let's do that.
Open up.
Nope, no one's there. Kick it down. Nice. Go in.
I fixed your door. It was sticky.
Maybe I'll try Leisure Suit Larry next. That might be an interesting game to play on this too.
Looks like you're out of customers.
Yeah, your gang.
That's talk button, I see.
Those well-dressed
The talk option.
So what'll it be, Mac?
Ooh, dialogue options. I'm looking for my keys.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I think you're in on this whole bum deal.
Yeah, but what are you gonna do?
So yeah, it looks like point-and-click adventure games work fairly well with a touchscreen netbook device like this. Yeah, I can definitely play this for a while, not even using the keyboard, so that seems to work just fine.
It's hard enough to play with your fingers.
Okay, let's use my fingers to play it.
Yeah, right.
No, kick it.
Play.
Nice. Register. Get the register.
Instagram, it's empty.
It's empty. Oh no. Okay, well yeah. I think these kind of games can work fairly well. I don't think you have to use the keyboard very much. Looks like I can just play through the entire game just using the touchscreen, which is cool. Alright, so that's all I wanted to check out. See if these kind of games work, and they do, for the most part. So yeah, that's Full Throttle, and let's try a card game. I'm interested to see how this works with card games too. Let's try Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist. Okay, how well does this game work using a touchscreen? Okay, campaign. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Let's play the original. Duelist Kingdom. Come on, I just want to duel. That's all I want to do. Oh, okay. Come on. Oh, it's been a while since I played Yu-Gi-Oh! I guess I need a bit of a primer here. It's been a long time since I played it. Okay, what's this? Set a monster. Okay. Looks like I can play the whole game using just my fingers. Oh no, I had to press back. Never mind. Can I? Okay, maybe I don't have to use my keyboard for that. Select face to enter main face 1. Oh, I have to select main face from it. Okay. Okay, cool. So I guess I don't have to actually use my keyboard for that. Awesome. Definitely the bigger screen of the OneMix Yoga makes it easier to play games like this, where you do need to see a lot more. Joey! Darn it. Okay, let's play this card. Activate effect. Trap card. Set that. Let's switch it to attack position. So I guess I can play Magic the Gathering and Hearthstone and all the other card games with no problem. Should be able to anyways. Okay. Dead. Let's just beat down this guy. Joey Wheeler. Ooh. It's clean as clock. Okay, summon. And tribute a monster. Gravity Crush. I activate my trap card. Oh. Wait, did I select that? I did, right? Hold on. Why didn't let me select it? Select Ninken Dog. I am. There we go. Attack is life points directly. Yeah, you bet he's not gonna be happy. Well, took him down. There we go. Alright, so yeah, it looks like Yu-Gi-Oh! Works. Didn't have to use the keyboard for that. But one thing is, I wonder if I can activate that phase thing without the tutorial. That's the one thing I'm wondering about. Okay. And yeah, I don't think I can actually go back to the menu. I have to use the keyboard to go back to the menu. Alright, so this is another one of those games where you can play most of it probably using the touchscreen, but not all of it. But yeah, that's just a few games to try out. So yeah, definitely compared to the A1, the OneMix Yoga 3 for me, it's definitely not as comfortable to hold for a long time, and it gets pretty hot as well. The A1, actually, I never felt it get really hot, but maybe that's just because I was playing more intensive games on this one. So yeah, the screen is bigger, which makes it, you know, obviously better for media consumption, and the keyboard's definitely easier to type on, so there's that. But for my purposes, I'm not going to use the keyboard too much because I mostly want to use these devices for playing visual novels and point-and-click adventure games and stuff like that. So for me, I think my use case, the A1 might actually be better because it's more comfortable for me to hold for a long time. And the cramped keyboard's not going to matter all too much because ideally I'm playing games that don't need the keyboard, right? Or ideally not using it as much, right? So I think I might prefer the A1 a little bit more over the OneMix Yoga, right? OneMix Yoga is better if you're actually going to be using the keyboard because it's more comfortable to type on and better for media consumption in general. But it's also like harder to hold for a long time because of how big it is. So yeah, I think for most people, depends on your use case. For me, I prefer the A1 a little bit more for my use case, but you know, everyone's use case is different. The OneMix Yoga is for people who are going to be typing using the keyboard, who want like a really small computer to travel with, but want to get some work done, productivity stuff. The A1 is very, very interesting because it is, it's got all these ports and stuff like that, including a serial port, which most devices don't have. So the extra connectivity I do appreciate as well, but it's also like the fact that it's more portable for me. It's definitely very, very comfortable for me to hold the A1, and more comfortable than the Yoga for sure, right? Even if I'm reading like an ebook or something like that, right? This is just very, very comfortable for me to hold in this position and read like a Kindle, whereas the OneMix Yoga, I put into this position. Yeah, I can definitely you know, read a Kindle or something like this, but it's just not as comfortable as holding this one for me, right? Of course, if you're watching a movie or something like that, I think the OneMix Yoga would be better for that compared to the A1. But yeah, different devices, similar yet different, and they're for different use cases. For me, I prefer the A1 a little bit more for my use case. But you know, for others, maybe the OneMix Yoga is the way to go, right? So that's it, guys. That is the OneMix Yoga 3 versus the OneNetbook A1. Similar yet different devices. Two convertible UMPC netbooks. Let me know in the comments section which one you guys prefer, which one you guys would use for your use cases. And yeah, that's it. As always, thanks for watching.